guys, it's Amber. Welcome to my channel and happy Summerween. So Summerween, I'm doing the Summerween book tag vlog thing this week. It goes from July 5th through the 11th, so we'll see how many of these books that are on my list I can get through. So Summerween is put on by Gabby Reads. She's the one that kind of created it, and it's a time to read fall, Halloween-y, spooky type books during the summer. It looked like a lot of fun. I'm still doing my normal TBR and my summer book bingo, but I was like, this is kind of a fun way to add in some fallish books. So I decided that I was going to join in on the fun. So this will be through the whole week. I am doing a vlog, and so of course the vlog will be put up for you guys afterwards. But here are my choices. So there's not like a set list, but she did create a 1 through 5 type of list to choose from if you'd like to do it. Although by the time this video gets up, it won't be available for you. But if you check out my last video, my TBR video for July, I did have it listed there too. So I don't know why. Anyway, moving on. So the first booked prompt was read a book in the dark. And she said that can be very loosely translated. So I decided to go with like dark as in like a gothic type of inspired story. So I've heard this is a gothic type book. So Belladonna by Adeline Grace. It's a book about a girl who, let me just read what this says. Signa opened her eyes and death was there before her, waiting. His presence was intoxicating and familiar, and it took Signa by surprise, as it always did. Writhing shadows cast into the vague shape of a human. So it's gothic, spooky. You can't get much darker than death. So I thought that would be a good choice for that prompt. Okay, next up, the second prompt for a book was read a thriller or horror book. I'm not a horror reader. I'm not a spooky book reader normally. So I did go more of the thriller route. I'm not even a thriller reader really, but I just read one of my first in a long time. Just, you'll see that in my end of the month. But anyway, for summer book bingo, I did one that goes along with that. My whole point is I chose one that has been on my TBR on Goodreads for quite a long time. This was a buzzy book for sure back in the day. I don't even know what year it was released. 2011. So it's been quite a while. It is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. And it's about a girl that woke up like in the hospital with no memory. And I think her boyfriend was murdered or something like that. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I think this is like a trilogy, but this is the first book in the series. So I felt like that one, like I said, has been on my list for a long time. And even the cover looks super spooky. They're underwater. Looks like she's being held under. So, okay. Next up was read a book with a night sky on the cover. So I did The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. So this is not spooky, but it is obviously fall Halloween-y vibe-ish because it is about a witch. And so it's like it's a rom-com type of book, second chance romance type of story, where she accidentally puts a curse on someone that broke up, well, an ex-boyfriend type of thing. So yeah, anyway, so I've heard that's a fun one. I figured that would be good with all the other heavier ones, the more spookier ones that I'm reading, and it still works because it does have a night sky. Okay, and then the fourth prompt was read a book that has 5 words on the cover. I decided on Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes. How many? I've never read this book. This was like the most terrifying Disney movie that I have ever seen back in the day. How many of you guys remember that movie? So that movie was based on this book. And so I'm like, I hope this doesn't give me nightmares, because that movie was so scary. That one and Watcher in the Woods, they were both super scary. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. It has 5 words, and yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it. And then lastly is read a book that takes place during the summer. And so I went classic again, Agatha Christie, Midsummer Mysteries. It's right there in the title, so obviously it's perfect. And I don't know when this one, I think this might be short stories. Yeah, so they're all a bunch of different short stories that obviously take place in the summer. So I figured that would be a good one to choose. So yeah, so that's it. That's my goal for Summerween, and we'll figure out which one I'm gonna read first. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do the one I'm most terrified about, Something Wicked This Way Comes. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do this one first. So come along with me while I read. Hey you guys, so I finished Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes for Summerween Readathon. I can talk. So I've gotten through this one. My thoughts on it are, it's not as scary as I remember the movie, first of all, being his writing is very verbose. It is overly verbose. So he has a lot of descriptions that I felt were very unnecessary, a lot of metaphors. He could go on for a couple paragraphs talking about about brushing teeth, that sort of thing. So that descriptive stuff that really didn't add to the story. And so that really took me out of the story. But it's about, overall, it's about good versus evil. It's about this carnival that's evil and these 2 best friends. They're about 13. And it's just about the temptation of wanting certain things that aren't good necessarily. And about how the boys end up seeing things about the carnival that they weren't supposed to. And so the carnival people, the head being Mr. Dark, are out to get them, out to capture them and whatnot. So lots of creepy factors in it, but like I said, the writing was overly descriptive for me. to where it just took me out of the story, and I felt myself like, come on, let me get through this type of thing. So unfortunately, I liked Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. I thought that one was really good. This is the only other book that I have read by him besides Fahrenheit 451. And I just didn't think this one worked. It ended up being a 2-star for me. But yeah, from what I remember of the movie, I like the movie a lot better. Okay, moving on. My next book for Summerween is Agatha Christie's Midsummer Mysteries. So this is a collection of some of her short stories. So I figured it would be a good fit for Summerween reading for sure. So let's jump into this one now. Summerween update for you guys. I didn't finish all of this. I finished most of this Midsummer Mysteries by Agatha Christie. So these are short stories, and there are a ton of, well-known characters from her other mysteries in it. But I've kind of find out about myself that I'm not big into short stories. So I got even more than 3/4 of the way through, and the last couple stories I'm like, I'm good, I don't need to finish it. But if you are into short stories, you like little mysteries, you like being with Agatha Christie's most famous characters, again, Poirot, Miss Marple, all those characters. If you like those things, then I would suggest picking this up because it was a fun little romp. I want to move on to something meatier and in all the same story rather than little snippets. So I am moving on to Belladonna. This is by Adeline Grace. I have heard good things about this. I actually, if you can see, I have started it already. It's a gothic type of fantasy story about a girl who was orphaned and death seems to follow her wherever she goes, but she just wants a normal life type of thing. So yeah, let's get into it more. So far I'm enjoying it. I'm about, I don't know how many pages, what am I in? I'm on chapter 10, page 83. So let's go read. Okie dokie, you guys, I did finish Belladonna for Summerween, and I just thought I'd talk about it for a minute. I did really enjoy this book. It had that kind of creepy gothic vibe to it, and it is about Signa. Pharaoh is her name, and she can see death, and she can and death is a person. And she is able to not die technically. She can see spirits when they have, after the person has passed, she can see spirits as well. And her parents died when she was a baby, and she's been bounced from person to person, different relatives' house, and all those people seem to die on her too. And so the story starts with her aunt passing away. And I don't want to spoil anything in regards to that. And she gets sent to another relative. What was his name? Nathaniel? I can't even remember what his name was. Dang, what was his name? Elijah? Something like that. I don't know. I can't even remember now. I'm talking about this 2 weeks later. We were on vacation for a couple weeks, and that's where I finished this. So no, I don't even remember, because my mind is all a fog right now. We just got home. Time change difference and all that from my Sensi family reunion, which was on the other side of the country from where I live. So everything's kind of a fog at the moment. So anyway, so she goes to live with this other relative whose mother or, well, wife passed away, and they think it's some mysterious illness. Come to find out, the mother decides to get in contact with Signa and tells her that it wasn't an illness, that she was poisoned, she was killed. And Signa's cousin, Blythe, is also being poisoned. And so, because of that, she wants Signa to find out what's going on. So Signa, through belladonna berries, she can eat them, and they would normally kill a regular person. They don't kill her. She's able to go between life and death. And so she communicates with death when she eats that. And she considers death like her enemy, because everyone dies around her. And comes to find out through the course of the story that he's not an enemy. And she finds out some things about herself and about the mystery that's going on in regards to what happened to her cousin that did die, and then her cousin that's been sick, and lots of other stuff. This was really good. This was a good book. I did really enjoy it. It's takes place during Victorian type of era, but it doesn't ever specifically say it's in Victorian England or anything like that. But from the gist of the story, it felt like it was during that time period. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I will probably talk about more of it once I do my July wrap up, but I thought this was a good finish to Summerween. Yeah, so I do highly recommend this one. It's, if I had to say, about a 4 stars. 4 stars for me, maybe 3.75. I'll probably talk about that more during the wrap up. There was something that kind of annoyed me. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, 3.75 to 4 stars I would give it. So I finished 3 out of the 5 books for the week of Summerween, and I am proud of myself. Stay tuned for all that. So let's wrap up the books that I did get through for Summerween. The first book for the first prompt was In the Dark, book In the Dark, and that was loosely, you can interpret it however you want. And I chose belladonna for that one because it's like a dark Gothic, Victorian Gothic type of book. So this one for me was that choice. It was about a 3.75 to 4 stars for me. So I did really enjoy it. Then the next one was a thriller or horror type book. That one I did not get to. I had chose The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I did not finish that one, or I didn't even get to it. So that one will probably go back into my TBR, and I will choose it maybe during the fall. It's been on my TBR for quite a while. The number 3 was a book that has the night sky on it. That one was The X-Hex. I actually ended up DNFing it. There was quite a bit of language, and I'm not a fan of like the overuse of bad language, and so I just decided to DNF that one. And then the 4th book I did finish, a 5-word title. I read Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. This was about, I think I rated it at a 2-star. Maybe I said 3-star. I can't even remember now. It was like 2 weeks ago. It was fine. It was overly wordy. The descriptions were overly wordy, and it took me out of the story because of that. So yeah, it was between 2 and 3 star. I can't 2.5 to somewhere around then. From what I remember of the movie, I did enjoy that, although it was creepy and freaked me out as a kid. That one was more scary to me than the actual book, because of it was just too verbose for me. And then the 5th takes place during the summer. So I read Agatha Christie's Midsummer Mysteries. I enjoyed these. I didn't get through every single story. I think I only had like 2 or so stories left, but I think I talked about this earlier. I've come to find out I'm not a big short story person. It was fun to be in see familiar characters from her type of thing, but give me like a full-length book. The only time that I really enjoy a short story if it's like from a series that I absolutely love. I love the characters. I love being back with them. I'm super attached to them. That's the only time I'm really like, okay, I'll read a short story. But like a book of short stories like this, where I'm not super attached to the characters to begin with, it's just not something that I enjoy. I like a meteor story. That being said, I did enjoy the ones that I read. I think I did say that already. I read almost every single story in it. They were fun. It was good. And it was classic Agatha Christie, so Midsummer Mysteries. So 3 out of the 5 for Summerween. I feel accomplished in all that. It was fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was a nice little break to read like fall, Halloweeny, spookish type books during the summer. So I really enjoyed it. Tell me if you participated in Summerween at all. Is that something that you did? I'd love to hear down below. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. I appreciate you all. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet for more bookish and home fragrance content. I do both. You can choose what ones to watch. Just watch the bookish stuff, just watch the home fragrance stuff, whatever you want to do. They're both my passions, so I enjoy talking about both. Have a wonderful rest of your day, you guys. I appreciate you. And until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.